Hey, quiet warrior, yes you. The one who smiles in the day but fights silent wars at night. The one who has been courageous for so long and now feels like the mind itself is the enemy. In life we battle two wars, one with the world and one against our own brains. The reality is, the war within is the deadliest, for it is our minds that are responsible for keeping the pain alive, while the external world causes it. You remember those moments when everything seems okay on the surface, but in your head, it just refuses to leave you alone. One little bad thought creeps in. I am not good enough. I always get things wrong. They don't actually like me, and it starts to infiltrate your brain like a virus. Left unchecked, it spreads, grows, and begins to define you. But the best kept secret: Stoicism. The ancient Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, experienced wars, slavery, betrayal, and exile. Still, they learned a truth that most people nowadays never come to realize. You cannot rule the world, but you can always rule how you react to it. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You don't need to be rich, flawless, and in control of it all. You just need to own your response. You are not your negative thinking. You are the observer of them. And if you are the observer, then you can decide how long they linger." This video is not for someone looking for a quick burst of motivation. It's for the warrior who is tired of living under the weight of their own mind. It's for the one who is sick of that inner voice that keeps saying, "You're not enough." In the following 7 chapters, we are going to dissect the most ruthless mental traps that nourish your bad thoughts and explain how Stoic philosophy provides you with the very tools to annihilate them. So don't merely watch this video, study it. If you desire peace, clarity, and inner resilience, don't skip any section because each chapter follows on from the previous one. Before we start, write this affirmation in the comments. I am stronger than my negative thoughts. Share this video with someone who needs to see it, and subscribe if you are serious about inner growth. Now, let's dispatch negative thoughts. One Stoic truth at a time. Number 1. You are not your thoughts. This is the most crucial truth. You are not your thoughts. It seems odd because we have learned to think that our thoughts make us who we are. But consider how many meaningless, frightening, or hurtful thoughts go through your mind in one day alone. If all of those actually were you, then you would be switching identities every minute. Stoicism is offering us something simple but strong. The mind is divided into 2 parts: what occurs and how you react to it. Bad thoughts will always arrive. That is natural. What is important is what you do with them. Epictetus once said, "It isn't events themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." What he means is even if a painful thought arises, "I failed, I am ugly, they left me," it only becomes suffering if you believe it. Otherwise, it is simply noise, like a dark cloud passing in the sky. You don't go running in terror just because it may rain. You see it, get ready if you have to, and then move on. That is precisely how you should deal with your negative thoughts. Recognize them, disengage from them, and let them pass. The issue is that the majority of individuals let a thought turn into their identity. I had a worrying thought, so therefore I am a worrying person. I had a pessimistic thought about my relationship, so it must be coming apart. But that is not accurate. Thoughts are not facts. They are proposals, not mandates. Imagine your mind as a radio station. Just because a song comes on, you don't have to dance. You can always switch the station. One of the Stoic practices was to write down something unsettling in your mind on paper and challenge it as if you were a judge. Ask yourself, is this 100% true? What is the evidence? What would Marcus Aurelius say in this situation? Will this even matter in 5 years? By the end, you'll usually find the thought didn't have any actual weight. It merely had a heavy feeling. Labeling your thoughts is another strong weapon. You wouldn't say, "I am a failure." You would say, "I am having a thought that I failed." That tiny adjustment makes space, and in the space, you have power. Remember this, you are not your thoughts. Thoughts are just clouds moving by. Now on to number 2. Stop quarreling with reality. One of the most profound sources of negative thought is pushing against what is already so. You don't hurt just because something difficult occurred. You hurt because your mind continues to demand, this wasn't supposed to happen. A breakup, a betrayal, a missed opportunity. Your mind protests it wasn't supposed to have happened this way, and that resistance turns into torment. But the Stoics instilled something strong. Pain is certain, but suffering is not. And suffering starts when we begin to quarrel with reality. Epictetus put it best. Do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go well. This doesn't include celebrating pain or denying the existence of anything. It means stop wasting energy attempting to reverse the past or rewrite what has already happened. If it occurred, accept it. Then choose what you will do next. Consider someone in the rain. One yells, swears, and cries at the heavens. The other knows they're getting wet, puts on a coat, and continues. Who do you want to be? The majority of negative thoughts are generated from wanting the past to be different. Why did they leave me? Why did I say that? What if I had taken that chance? None of these thoughts will alter the past, they merely keep the pain alive. The Stoics also had a tradition of amor fati, love of fate. It means to love what is, even when it hurts. Why? Because the event is not yours to control, but your response always is. Let me illustrate. Perhaps you bombed an exam, or your entrepreneurial project fell apart. A negative mind formulates, I am useless, I always fail. A Stoic mind says, this is a moment, not a life sentence. What do I get out of it? Don't resist the moment, utilize it. Here is a tool every time your mind utters, this shouldn't have happened. Catch it and respond out loud. But it did. So now what? That one sentence turns the power around to you because you cease being a victim and begin being the author once more. And here is the truth you gotta cling to. Peace doesn't result from having a flawless life. Peace results from embracing reality as it is and still proceeding. Stick this reminder in the comments. I embrace reality and I learn from it. Number 3. Don't believe the initial emotion. A majority of people commit a serious error. They consider their initial emotion to be the truth, but Stoicism suggests the opposite. The initial feeling is not ultimate wisdom. Anger, fear, jealousy, sadness, these are raw emotions. And emotions are normally loud, messy, and irrational. If you base your life on your initial emotion, your life turns into a roller coaster. Imagine emotions as waves. The first one crashes most, but it always goes through. If you can pause, consider, and look rather than acting right away, you win. Marcus Aurelius, who governed an empire that was constantly under pressure, reminded himself of the following fact. The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. Just think of that. The most powerful man in the world reminding himself to keep his cool and examine further. Here is the example. Your friend doesn't respond to your message. Your initial reaction might be, they don't care about me. But after an hour, you may discover they were doing something. They were ill, or they forgot. Had you reacted at the first feeling, you might have destroyed a good friendship. Here's the practice. When a negative emotion hits, pause, name it, and delay your reaction. Say, I'm feeling anger, but that doesn't mean I'm right. I'm feeling fear, but that doesn't mean I'm in danger. I'm feeling jealous, but that doesn't mean I'm less. Emotions are signals, not orders. An author's Stoic practice is referred to as the view from above. Picture yourself zooming out and seeing your life from a great distance, even from outer space. Now that cringe-worthy incident or explosive fight seems infinitesimal. Perspective eliminates unnecessary suffering. Repeat this line. Let me wait before I react. That little sentence has saved careers, marriages, friendships, and most importantly, inner peace. Keep in mind, you are not weak to feel emotion. You are smart when you don't allow them to control you. Repeat this affirmation out loud in the comments. I pause, I choose, I don't react blindly. Number 4. The stories you tell yourself are causing your pain. Often, it is not the circumstance that destroys you. It is the story you assign to it. You get rejected, and the mind tells you, they never liked me, I'll always be alone. You have a mistake at work, and the mind tells you, I am a failure. I am not capable. This is the trap. You mix up facts and interpretations. The Stoics knew this very well. That is why Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment. Consider that. It is not the rejection, the silence, the failure, or the delay that hurt most. It is the meaning you assign to it, and most of those meanings are false narratives created from fear, insecurity, or past wounds. Your boss gives a curt response, and you think they dislike you. A friend doesn't invite you, and you think you are not important. You miss the outcome you wanted, and you think you'll never make it. But suppose none of that is the case. One of the most effective ways to destroy negative thinking is to disconnect the event from the story. Here is how. First, take what really happened and write it down in raw fact only. For instance, my message was not replied to for 2 days. Next, write down the story your mind is telling. They don't care about me. 3. Then call out the story. Say to yourself, do I know this is true? Is there another reason this could have happened? Have you ever held up a message for reasons that had absolutely nothing to do with the person? Very often, simply going through this exercise makes you understand your thoughts are not reality. Here is the Stoic attitude. Bad things occur, but they do not define you. You make the meaning of what occurs. And within that power, you create your world of emotion with your mind heal, not harm. Your brain is a narrator, but you are the editor. And a good editor would never allow false narratives to be printed. So next time your mind gets in a spin, stop, explore, and revise. Because you are not the pain. You are the writer revising the page. Drop this statement in the comments. I control the story. I choose peace over panic. Number 5. Your environment feeds your inner dialogue. Let's be brutally honest. Your environment impacts your thinking. Most negative minds aren't created in the womb. They're constructed by negative environments. The people you hang around, the content you watch, the habits you practice. These all fuel your inner voice. If you are being surrounded by noise, drama, chaos, and pessimism, your mind will look like the chaos. Seneca, one of the great Stoics, cautioned, join the company of people who are likely to make you better. Entertain those whom you can improve. This was not only friends. This was mental hygiene. If you think of your mind as a garden, who are you allowing to sow seeds there? Let's examine this. Negative people. If you hang out with the complainers, gossips, or put-downs, you'll begin adopting their way of thinking. Toxic social media. If you scroll through posts that stimulate insecurity, anger, or shame, your mind gets hooked on low-level thinking. Chaotic environments, a dirty room, messy desk, or noisy home can blow stress and murder clarity. The Stoics existed in simplicity and order because they knew disorder outside creates disorder within. This is a tough truth. You can't kill bad thoughts if you are giving them food every day. So begin doing an environment detox. Ask yourself, who makes me feel drained compared to who makes me feel relaxed? What content am I watching? Does it motivate me or make me feel bad? Is my environment aiding me in thinking clearly, or is it contributing to my anxiety? The Stoics weren't interested in abstract philosophy. They cared about structure, basic routines, tidy environments, deep conversations. They understood that outer discipline leads to inner commentary. This challenge: spend 7 days without gossip, drama, or negative scrolling. Clean your room. Unfollow accounts that fuel comparison. Spend time with people who actually want to grow. you'll be shocked at how much quieter your mind becomes. Not because negative thoughts magically disappear, but because you've stopped feeding the storm. Number 6. You're tired, not broken. Occasionally, your negative thoughts don't necessarily reflect something wrong with you. They just reflect that you are tired. Physically, yes, but emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. And when you are tired, everything seems worse than it actually is. You misinterpret texts. You overanalyze decisions. You think people are against you. Your mind becomes a hurricane. Not because you are weak, but because you are exhausted. The Stoics got this. They did not only speak about attitude, they spoke about conserving energy. Marcus Aurelius told himself, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." But how do you take that away if you have not slept, have not rested, have not allowed yourself the space to be still? So many people attempt to think their way out of a storm, when really what they need is recovery, not more thinking. Negative thoughts tend to get louder when you are running on empty sleep, deprived, poorly nourished, scrolling mindlessly, or overwhelmed with pressure. Keep in mind, you don't always have to repair your mind. Sometimes, you just need to give your nervous system a break. Stoicism is not about being a robot, but rather being rational and responsible with your energy. Even Epictetus wrote, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." When your mind is exhausted and full, you can't learn, develop, or think clearly. So grant yourself permission. Go to bed early tonight. Take a walk outside phone. Free. Say no to one exhausting thing, and jot down your fears before leaving them behind. You are not broken. You are just running on empty. Treat exhaustion as a sign, not a flaw. Rest, recharge, and see how negativity dissipates when you stop running on empty. Leave this in the comments. I am not broken. I am just resting. Lesson 7. Gratitude kills negativity. Gratitude isn't positive thinking. It is a killer of negativity at its roots. Negativity is tunnel vision thinking, but gratitude blows open the lid. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." Most negativity arises out of craving, out of a sense that something is lacking. Gratitude brings to mind the fact that you already have so much. This isn't about ignoring issues. It is about balancing perspective. Ask yourself in your most desperate moments, what am I taking for granted right now? What do I have today that I once prayed for? Write one sentence. That is all it takes to shift. Perhaps your work is stagnant, but you are otherwise healthy, secure, and growing. Perhaps your relationship is tumultuous, but you found inner strength and self-worth. Gratitude isn't a superficial smile. It is facing life and declaring, "Yes, this hurts, but I still perceive what is good." Here is the truth. Negative thinking flourishes in the soil of forgetfulness. Forgive your forgetfulness, and life seems all pain. But gratitude grounds you, keeps you from sinking in the storm. Make it a ritual, morning or evening. Write down 3 little things: a breath, a meal, a memory, a smile. Notice how your chest feels lighter, your head clearer. Final Stoic reminder, if you've made it this far, you've already begun rewiring your mind. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You're the observer. Your first emotion isn't always the truth. Pause, reflect, then choose. Stories in your head are just that. Stories, rewrite them. A cluttered environment creates a cluttered mind. Clean one, clean both. Tired doesn't mean broken. Rest is medicine. Gratitude is armor against darkness. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, sorrow, and unthinkable stress. Yet each evening he wrote to condition his mind for peace. Do the same quietly, persistently, every day. And if no one told you today, you are doing better than you thought. Not because life is ideal, but because you know. And from knowing, anything can transform. Last affirmation for the comments. My mind is my greatest asset. If this video has brought you value, like it to help more people see it. Comment your favorite Stoic lesson. Share it with someone who needs peace. And subscribe, because together, we're building stronger, calmer minds